Welcome to Bitstorm, a comedy game design podcast by two guys who know nothing about comedy nor game design. I'm Ben Slinger, and with me, as always, is Trevor Scott.
Hello.
Hey! And so, we're going to do something slightly different this week. Trevor, you and I last night went to a party in Melbourne for the Independent Game Developers Association in Melbourne, and this party was for the Global Game Jam that's coming up in a few weeks,
Yes.
which we are participating in.
Yes, we are, and it's so goddamn exciting. I'm like, we met a whole heap of really awesome people last night, so I can't wait.
We did. Yeah, it was really cool. It's a really good community here in Melbourne for game dev, and yeah, it sounds like the setup is going to be awesome.
Yep.
They're at AIE in Melbourne. Our previous guest Giselle Rosman doing all the organising and such for that.
And thank you very much,
Giselle. Doing a fantastic job. Yep. Yeah, so we're going to be doing that. We're going to basically we're going to do Bitstorm with our team that we find there, and once we know the theme, and we're going to make a Bitstorm game finally.
Yes. Who knows what it'll contain? Maybe we'll actually do something in VR. I mean, we've talked about it enough.
The potential is there. Yes. So, on that note, what we're going to do these next couple of episodes before the jam. They may not all come out before the jam, we'll see, but we're going to record them before the jam. We're going to practice working on a specific theme. And so we're actually going to go back to previous Game Jam, Global Game Jam themes, take one of those and add 1 or 2 words, do you think? Should we do 2 words and plus the theme, or?
Oh, I think we'll do two words plus the theme.
Yeah, cool. And so basically try to do our usual thing, but with that additional theme. And try to hit that theme so that when we actually get our theme, we're practiced on doing a number of ideas on the same theme.
Yeah, definitely.
Theme.
So, tonight's theme, we're going all the way back to 2010, when
Yes.
Ben, a young, naive Ben Slinger, was in Vancouver at a global game jam, and
It's true.
the theme came up, and it was deception.
Deception. That's right. Yeah, this is the one global game jam I have previously participated in. And actually the game we came up with was kind of cool. So the theme was deception, and our game was like a top-down view of a city with all of these little people milling about, walking around, bouncing off buildings. But as you played, you'd see people starting to slowly get green and sick, and then they would die.
Ooh.
And the idea was that there was one person walking around in this city who, when they touched somebody else, would infect them. But the symptoms didn't come into effect, as in they didn't start turning green for a certain amount of time after they'd been touched. And you had 1 bullet to take out the person who is infecting everyone. So yeah, it actually turned out quite well. It was quite interesting. A lot of people really liked the general idea of it. And yeah, you could get good at it. You could
There's only 900 games for me to go through, so I'm just going to go through those after we finish here. I'll just write down a little note here.
Oh yeah, that's right. It might still be up there. I don't know if it'll run. It was written in Flash.
Ew. Click Pitch is a game where we have a random word generator in front of us. We both click refresh on the count of 3, 2, 1. We take those random words, we chuck them together, they become our game design.
Yes. So, we're going with the theme deception. Let's click. 3, 2, 1, click.
2, 1, click.
Mean.
Exercise.
Mean, exercise, deception. Okay. So, is this a game where you have to, like, trick your parent, or who would want you to? Who would want your coach? Maybe you have to trick your coach.
I'm picturing it as a PE teacher. So
okay,
you
have to somehow convince them that you actually
are
exercised, and they're mean because all PE teachers are mean. So that brings that into it. Mm-hmm. So yeah, is this an obstacle course game where you have to do as few of the obstacles as possible?
Yeah, I reckon so. I like that.
So, like, you get to, like, the pommel horse or whatever, and you have to just... If he's watching you, you have to, like, half-heartedly try to jump on it. But if
you
he's
sort of
not, if he's like yelling,
jog up to the pommel horse, and you just sort of like touch it. And if he's not looking, if he's
not looking, you just like you go under it. You just duck under it.
It's like, oh, I did it. And then, finished.
There's the rope climb that you just kind of hold on to the bottom and go like 10 centimeters off the floor. And when he turns around to look at you, you like hit the ground with you breathing hard as if you'd just climbed the whole thing.
He goes, hang on, I only turned around for like a millisecond.
Yeah, it's like, that's how fast I am, coach.
Okay.
Yeah, you just, it's all about deceiving and coming up with ways without them noticing. You have to, like, you start doing push-ups, 1, 2, he goes away. You just lie there for a while. He comes back, 107, 108. So you have to, like, get through this whole thing, both without him noticing you're not doing it, and without your heart rate getting over, like 90 BPM.
Mine's sitting at 64 at the moment, so I'm fine. I'm avoiding all exercise at the moment.
Yes, well, you could start running while we record. I don't know. Well, maybe that's something you could do. Maybe you could hook this into your Fitbit, and it's an actual. Now it's like you're trying to game your Fitbit somehow. Maybe this is about because you and your wife just got Fitbits for Christmas, like, right? Yeah. And you're always competing to who does the most amount of steps.
Yeah.
So maybe it's actually a way to get the steps up on the Fitbit without actually having to do exercise.
The person who finds the paint shaker is the winner.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a rush to the paint store.
But I think the idea that that the Fitbit just says mean things if he catches you.
Maybe it's a new type of Fitbit software that is trying to deceive you into doing exercise, and maybe part of that is by it's saying mean things to you.
It just keeps on saying that you should go to the fridge. So you get up and go to the fridge, and then it just berates you for going to the fridge. So you go back.
So you feel guilty and go sit back down.
But what it's actually doing is getting you to get up off the couch, go for the walk over to the fridge, back over, back out again.
Yeah, it like figures out when it's nice outside and says you should go to the shops and get like a pizza.
And you go, yes.
But as it notices you're getting close to the pizza store, it's like, what the fuck are you doing trying to get a pizza? You're on a diet. Go to that, I don't know, salad shop.
Get yourself a boring salad.
Boring salad. Like, the closer you get, like, if you ignore it, it literally starts yelling at you. Like, everyone around you can hear. It's audible. And it gets louder and louder. It's like, this guy's cheating on his diet.
And thing is,
he's got no willpower.
This is literally not a video game. This is literally in real life. Like
No, no, this is not a video game. This is Fitbit version whatever.
And if it detects that you've been on that you're moving too fast using the GPS in your phone,
yeah,
it just starts putting out like, you're cheating.
Yeah, exactly. You're driving. Look, we've got the technology now. It's sensitive enough to tell the difference between you lifting a burger to your mouth and a fork with salad to your mouth. So, like, it knows. It's got smell sensors. You can smell it. It knows exactly what you're eating, and it's gonna fucking yell at you when you eat the wrong thing. I think that would work.
Yeah,
that would sell. That would sell, man. All right, let's click.
Yeah, it actually sell for people who have like a partner who won't exercise. They'll buy it for them.
Or just those people who know that about themselves, like that they have no willpower. It's a pretty good reminder. Yeah, me too.
Okay, all right. Do one click.
Worthy.
Monotony.
Oh, okay. So you reach the gates of heaven.
Okay.
And St. Peter's there. And, everyone knows what happens. You are supposed to prove yourself. Or, he will decide whether you're worthy to enter heaven.
Yep. So the idea is to deceive him by just telling monotonous stories.
Basically. So you're like, he's like, what have you done that is worthy? And you're like, well, on December 5th, 1980, I was born, and it took a really long time to come out of my mother, and but I will describe each second to you.
So basically, you start telling Grandpa Simpson stories.
Yeah, totally. And so he gets bored and just lets you in before you get to the bits where you actually did all the sinning. Although I think technically, as long as you get to the baptism, I guess. I don't know. I'm not religious.
Oh, by the way, that is not Ben's birthday, so don't think that you can.
I nearly said my birthday, and I'm like, no, I'll just make up a date.
So December 5th it is.
So December 55th. All right. I think. Do you have anything else? I don't think there's actually a game there. That's just a stupid idea.
It's just a jag
of
a
something
gag.
that happens.
Or it's just a continuous dialogue puzzle with brand new dialogue all the time, and you're basically trying to string this story together, and then.
So it's a game that just flows random words past you in a constant stream, and you have to click on them in a way that makes sentences and makes a story. And you can't wait too long to wait for the perfect word either, though, or you fail.
I know it's pretty monotonous if you do wait. And it's like
Oh, there you go. So it's actually a word processor, but to write anything, you literally just have to wait for your word to come around and click on it, and it just scrolls through every word in the language in whatever language you're working in.
Slide a aardvark. It's like, damn it.
Yeah, exactly. Like you're trying to write a story and you like wait until the O's and you're like, all right, once, and then it goes back to A. You're like, oh fuck, now I've got to wait for you.
Oh, that's awesome. Very terrific.
Yeah.
Okay.
Modern
Thumbtack.
Thumbtack and deception takes you some interesting places.
So it's again in a school. We seem to like going back to schools all the time. You're the prankster in the class.
Yes.
And you're trying to, put the thumbtack on the teacher's seat. You're trying to do all the typical sort of pranks.
Well, okay, but look, thumbtack on the teacher's seat, that's old news. We want the modern version of these pranks.
I knew that was coming.
It's a fidget spinner with thumbtacks on every edge of it.
God, that is a scary.
No, I think we've done enough fidget spinner jokes. I don't know. Maybe it's set in the future. Maybe you can do future pranks, and they're modern to them. They're futuristic.
So it's a robot teacher.
Okay. And they have to sit on a mini lightsaber.
Well, no. What I'm thinking is, if you remember Scrubs, how in the first episode, like the janitor accused JD of putting like a penny in the
in the door
to stop it opening. Well, basically, if you get a thumbtack into a robot, it just
shuts
down the circuits. So what you're actually doing is you're trying to set up maybe a couple of almost Rube Goldberg-like pranks that distract the robot enough so you can get the thumbtack over to the seat. But obviously you can't be caught because...
Is it? No, I don't. I think what it is actually, here's what it is. It's not that a thumbtack like short circuits them. It's that you need to, like when you eject the SIM from your phone, you need to like put the paperclip into the tiny little hole in the robot that is going to eject its brain. And so you somehow have to distract it enough that you can, get something close enough or get close enough yourself to like put the paper clip in there and just like, and they just shut down.
Or maybe it's a reset. So if you get caught,
you reprogram them.
The only way to actually, like, if you get caught doing pranks or anything like that, the only way out is to actually reset the robot.
Right, okay. So you have to do it like during detention and then you can leave because it's like, what are you doing here? I don't remember anything. Please enter programming.
So, sneaking mechanics. I'm thinking you can, like, maybe your stash of tools to like do some of your pranks is actually in your locker. So you need a hall pass to get to your locker. But you can only carry so much because you've only got pockets that can fit a certain amount of stuff. So if you want to take your thumbtacks and, I don't know, maybe a holographic projector that projects an image of you on your seat, you know, you can get that, because I mean we're in the future. We're in, you know, modern times. So
I kind of like, you know what, because if all you're doing is pranks, that'd get a bit boring. Maybe this is like Rockstar's Bully, then if they finally do a sequel, but it's set in, you know, 2073, because that's actually how long it's going to take before they bring it out. It's actually just set in the present, but that's when Bully 2 is coming out. And yeah, so it's that same sort of thing. You're kind of this delinquent, and yeah, some of the things you do have to do is pull pranks by exactly that. Yeah, you get your little holographic projector, because, you know, robots can only see they don't have very good depth perception because they're cheaped out on them. They've only got a single lens. So you can buy pretty cheap projectors and fool the robot teachers to like get out of class. Pretty much all the robot is like a big box with two arms and, like, you know, a current day camera just stuck on its head. Yeah, look, he's not at a very good school. Public schools have really gone to shit in the future.
It looks like, you know, a school from, you know, 1990 or something like that. You know, it doesn't have any real modern things. There's no computers. There's only an old CRT TV in the room. But it's like, and then it comes up.
That's actually part of the robot too. And it's still on that old, like, wheelie trolley that you know that the teachers would wheel in to show you a video when they were lazy. But now that's actually a robot.
I'm just picturing now that there's a human teacher that wheels it into the room and then just walks out, and it's like all of a sudden the thing comes to life.
That'd be a really good intro to the school, like the first day of class, and you get in there and it seems like a normal school to the player, and then the teacher like wheels in the thing. And you're like, oh, great, like, it's a lazy teacher, we're going to watch a video. And then, the teacher just walks out, and the actual teacher, being this robot, like, fires up. And it's got that classic, like, 80s, 90s intro to its, like, startup sort of thing. Power of education.
And you see the scan lines, and it almost looks like it's on a VCR sort of thing.
Yeah, totally.
And then down the bottom it goes, 2073, just a normal day at school.
Well, and then the video rubs it in and shows you what the kids at all the private schools get to do, and they've got these sleek modern robots, and
it's like,
so maybe as part of
the school of the future, and it's like you see all these, you know, sort of beyond 2000 style.
Yeah, no, well, what I like the idea of is, it's exactly that. It's like 2073, the school of the future. It shows down the bottom, the movie's like copyright 2017. But then,
1997 or whatever beyond 2000 finished.
But then you realize that the game actually is set in 2073, because he like looks across the courtyard to the rich school, and it shows
it's floating and shit.
And that's literally what their school is like, and you're just in the poor person's, you know, the public schools that don't get any government funding because the whole government is corrupt. And so this is literally the height of technology that you still have 80 years later. All right. That's cool. I feel like there's some interesting narrative stuff there. And I feel like you would just do it in that vein of Bully. And you sort of, you have a story in there where you meet a bunch of different kids from your school, and you have to do things like infiltrate the other school. And that's where having to like reset the more modern robot teacher comes into play.
Now, here's the real kicker. You got to finish it in 3 days. Or 2 days or whatever it is, 48 hours.
Oh, finish making it?
Yeah, in 48 hours.
Yeah, we should, I was going to say, like, should we actually also try to come up with game designs that we could actually potentially build in 48 hours, or is that just going to be way too boring for our listening audience?
Yeah, we'll go on our usual sort of
tangents.
Have some fun with it.
Yeah. Blue sky.
Yep.
All right, should we click again?
I think we should. 3, 2, 1, click.
Personal.
Rehearsal.
Deception. This isn't a game, but my first thought was you're practicing a speech in front of the mirror and trying to deceive yourself that you're actually doing a good job.
You're talking to me? You're talking to me?
Yeah.
No one else here. You must be talking to me.
Personal rehearsal deception. Maybe it's a game where you're thrown into the rehearsal of a play, but you don't know any of the lines or what's going on or what the story is. And so you just have to improvise it and try not to let people guess that is the case.
Thing is, it's actually a rehearsal of like a ballet.
Well, you have to figure that out when you get on stage. It's like, if we're talking old Australian TV shows, it's like, what was that fucking
I know.
show?
Thank God you're here.
Thank God you're here. You walk into a room and there's stuff going on around you and you just have to run with it.
And someone says, thank God you're here.
Yeah.
We need you to do this. And it's like,
okay.
Thank God you're here. We need you to do brain surgery. Oh, shit.
Again, I'm not sure where the gameplay comes in as such.
So it's a ballet game in VR.
Well, okay, so I'm thinking maybe it's around the mechanics of sort of like strategy mechanics in some way. And the rehearsal part is that you get to so I'm thinking sort of the planning stage of like a Rainbow Six or something in that vein, but you can sort of play it forward and you don't know, you're not going to see exactly what's going to happen, but it's like sort of testing it out. It's like doing the rehearsal of your plan, and you have to sort of iterate on it each time until you go, okay, this is the actual plan, and then you've just got one chance to execute it.
Oh, so it's kind of like would it be the AI is actually learning what you're doing at the same time, sort of thing? So
I don't know.
It can predict what you're actually doing?
I don't know.
Or could it be kind of like a Groundhog Day sort of situation?
No, I was thinking that, yeah, I'm not sure. I guess I was more thinking that you don't actually see, so if we take it to a Rainbow Six sort of thing.
Yep.
Where you're trying to take out terrorists in a building, and so you bring in a few guys. I was sort of thinking, at any point in time, you say, all right, this person's going to go here, and they're going to throw a flashbang in there or whatever, kick down the door.
Mm-hmm.
And you play that through, but it's not the actual run through. It's
a digital simulation.
It's sort of a simulation, yeah. I don't know. And then eventually you have to use that plan and execute it, maybe as one of the people, from a first person perspective. Then you actually have to play through it and sort of remember the plan you came up with and where everyone else was going to be at any point in time. And so the point of the rehearsal is that you were building this up over enough time. It wasn't just that you throw it together, because you're never going to remember that, right? Like, you're going to say this person here and they need to get there by, 1 minute and 57 seconds, and this other person come in here and break down the door at 2 minutes and 3 seconds. And then you're going to be one of those people who has to get in there and make that happen. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
I was trying to come up with actual game mechanics as opposed to just random scenarios that don't make games. Which we've tended towards lately.
No, I reckon there's been some interesting
I'm not saying it's
non-game
bad. I'm just
game
saying
mechanics.
if we're practicing for an actual game jam, then we need to be able to come up with some actual implementable mechanics.
Good idea.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't have anything other than that.
No, neither do I. 3, 2, 1, click.
Okay. Army.
Bluest.
Bluest?
Yes.
What makes an army blue, and so how do you become the bluest army? And then, or how do you fool someone that you are the bluest army? Like, how do you deceive them?
You pretend that you swear a lot.
It's a game about teaching army, recruits to swear, but not actually swear. Like, so they have to say the sort of nice versions of it.
It's like you hit yourself. You hit a hammer on your on your thumb. What do you say? No, you don't say shit. You say sugar.
Yeah, it's just picturing the typical army drill sergeant yelling at them. You gosh darn pieces of sugar. Get your flippin' ass, bottoms over here. That's really hard.
It really is. Fork.
But again, that's not really a game.
No. I reckon we have to click again because I've got nothing for that.
Well, so the only other thought I had...
Okay.
Well, there are a couple things. So, paintball, maybe?
Oh, no. Oh, okay. Okay, I've got one.
All right, go on.
You're an army. You're part of an army who's just infiltrated. I'm just wondering whether it should be World War II or not. But you've heard tell that this castle holds the bluest of blue opals or something like that. And so you're trying to deceive and sneak in, get it, and get out, basically. So it's kind of like, I don't know whether you've heard the stories about, well, The Simpsons sort of did it with, can't remember what group Abe was part of.
Oh, the Stonecutters.
No. The the army group that they stole things off of like a German soldier or something, and they put it behind 7 keys sort of thing.
Yes, yeah. The flying something.
The Flying Dutchman or something.
No, it was something else.
I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway,
but yeah, I'm sort of
hellfish,
thinking
the flying hellfish.
Flying hellfish, yes.
Yeah.
I kind of like the idea that it's either you've done that in the past and now you're trying to get the final key because you've, as per Highlander rules, there can only be one. So you're trying to deceive maybe your team into getting the final key so you can get the thing that's for keeps.
Okay. Yeah, so like a narrative sort of thing, or what sort of gameplay are we thinking?
Narrative / I don't know whether you want action elements in that you've got other members of the team that you've sort of beaten in the past, or whether you now just got one left and it's a kill or be killed sort of thing. Yeah. You don't like it?
No, it's fine. I'm not quite sure where to take it.
Well, I tried. 3, 2, 1, click.
Yeah. That's fine.
Proton.
What was it? Proton?
Yes.
Guarantee.
Guarantee and proton and deception.
So you're a shifty light salesman. We guarantee you at least 3 million protons come out of this. Well, no, those are photons.
Yes.
Protons are just part of stuff.
We guarantee that this atom contains no more than 5 protons.
So you're an atom salesman, and you're trying to shift helium by pretending. Sorry, you're trying to shift hydrogen by pretending it's helium. It's got twice the number of protons, right? All right, let's click again. I don't like that one. We got to find something.
Definitely. 3, 2, 1, click. Brotherhood.
Virtue.
And deception.
And
Nice.
deception. So this is the Stonecutters.
So, there's this virtuous brotherhood.
Okay.
Kind of secretive, kind of like I'm thinking either they're deceiving everyone or kind of like the Skull and Bones Society.
Yeah,
like
a secret,
or something like that.
secret society, sure.
Secret society. And,
Maybe you're a woman whose name is Virtue,
okay.
and you're trying to track down and put an end to these secret societies that are like pulling the strings for all these major governments and corporations and organizations.
And they're solely run by sort of creepy men.
I mean, like all secret societies. Mostly creepy white men, yes. So I don't know, is it like you're a reporter perhaps? You try to expose them and bring them down, and so there's a bit of sneaking stuff and taking photos to get evidence. There's a bit of actual, like, just evidence gathering in general and deductive puzzle solving, some action, some action stuff. Reporters can be kick-ass action stars often in movies and things. So
yeah,
it's almost a bit of an Uncharted vibe.
So what year do you want to put it in? I don't know. I'm thinking for some reason, like some of the earlier 1900s.
Okay.
So, like maybe in 1930s, 1940s, sort of.
That could be interesting. You could bring in like Prohibition and stuff.
Oh, what I quite like is actually it's sort of set maybe just before World War II.
Okay.
And there's talks of like the Manhattan Project and all these sort of things sort of happening. And because then you can bring in some of those secretive elements and
of course
pulling
you can
the strings.
weave that into the story.
Yeah, I quite like that.
And maybe like you do like some of the major people on either side of the war. They're like they're all in this secret society, and running the whole thing just to make money or to get power or whatever. They're actually working together.
Oh, so you've actually
Hitler's
got...
in there. Churchill, like...
Oh, God. So
they're all there,
Hitler,
working
Churchill,
together. They're best of buds.
What's his name? Was it Truman at the time? I think it was Truman during World War II. But I'm just picturing all these like big, leaders throughout history and all that sort of stuff that have all been part of this secret society.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was true.
But it's not called the Illuminati. So don't start thinking that you're getting ahead of this.
No, it's the Shadowati. They don't illuminate anything. They darken
I like
everything.
the idea that they've sort of put like Illuminati clues out there just to take the scent off the fact that.
Oh yeah, that's just them fucking with everyone. Definitely. The Illuminati's completely made up. That we can bring that into it.
That's cool.
Maybe Virtue starts by she's trying to track down the Illuminati. And then
she works out that
it's like, wait, none of this makes sense. Like, this all seems like somebody who's trying to invent a secret society to put someone off the trail, and it's like light bulb.
Yeah, I like the idea that she keeps thinking that she's being followed when she's actually getting close to the Illuminati, and
you could bring some interesting like psychological stuff into it. Not that she's imagining it necessarily, but just like psychological to the player, where you as you're walking down the street, like certain people, you start really looking at people as they look at you, and it's like, did that person look at me for like 2 seconds too long? Do they know?
And the idea that, maybe you have to start walking a little bit faster and sort of sneak your way through the crowd a little bit better than what you have been, and trying to lose who you think is actually following you.
Yeah. That could be some cool stuff with that.
Yeah, there's some cool stuff there. What else can happen? I like the idea that you've got to give regular updates to like your your newspaper editor.
Your editor. Yeah. Well, and maybe you have like a sidekick who, you know, obviously as a woman, you're going to find it very difficult to infiltrate the secret society, but you've got, you know, this young whippersnapper. Well, it'd probably be hard if he was young, but I don't know. Maybe you pretend that he's got all this influence and you manage to have him infiltrate. And so you have scenes where she's like telling him what to do and stuff via radio as he discovers things by being introduced into this secret society and going through all the hazing rituals and...
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. I like that.
And then he gets branded. They just brand him because that's part of it. It's like, holy shit, you weren't expecting that.
Especially when you first met him, his name was Brandon.
Yeah, that's our really subtle foreshadowing. No, Brandon's been branded. His name's actually just Branded. It was someone misheard and got the whole... Anyway.
I'm just wondering, is the newspaper editor in on it, or
yes,
are they...
Almost certainly.
Is the newspaper editor part of another secret society that have been trying to take down the Shadow Arty or whatever we call
there
it?
are more secrets. They're more secret society. They're a secretist society.
He's actually part of the Illuminati, which is behind the Shadow Arty. It turns out that, you know...
Oh, yeah, it was a double bait and switch. It was the Illuminati the whole time, but they don't actually use any of those symbols or phrases or whatever that they were putting out there to put people off the trail. And in fact, actually, they're a secret society of aliens from planets across the galaxy who infiltrate planets and run them for their own gain.
Men in Black style. Okay, 3, 2, 1, click. This goes well with deception.
Mm-hmm.
Smuggling.
Oh, I got train.
Ooh.
So you have to train up to be a smuggler and then smuggle something on a train.
See, I was thinking that it's Wild West. You've got basically you've got to plan how you're going to smuggle all this gold that you found out of like the Wild West. On a train
into
and
the tame West, the domesticated West.
I'm thinking that you just got bandits on horses and all this sort of stuff, and it's like desert.
Yeah,
not any of the like other like racist connotations that you get of the Wild West.
So how is this not just part of Red Dead Redemption?
Is
this a more...
Okay. Pixel graphics.
Okay.
So I'm thinking that it's like a, maybe it's a top-down, almost like a Hotline Miami sort of view of like the top part of the train is cut off. And,
okay. Yep.
And so, you know, your whole idea is you got to hide the gold on the train somewhere that is not too conspicuous.
Right.
But, you know, maybe you can set up like some extra things because you know that trains have been getting robbed all up and down. So you can like put some false gold out there and that sort of stuff.
So when you said pixel view and when you said top down, I actually went to a mode of thinking where instead of viewing top down on a single train, you're viewing a top down landscape with like train tracks going across it, and you're having to choose the right trains to like smuggle this stuff on, where they're not going to go through like an inspection checkpoint, or they're not going to go through
the wildlands where the bandits are going to...
Where it will get robbed or whatever. Yeah, and so you're constantly having to shift, like, as the landscape changes, and you're basically trying to get it across the country or something from one side to the other.
Okay, that's kind of cool. And being able to, like, zoom right out and maybe see, okay, you got bandits who are holding up this train over here, and it's like, you know, X number of kilometer away. It's like, okay, maybe you can
maybe we can switch this at this station.
At each station, you can sort of put out word that the Union are transferring a whole heap of gold on this train that's going
Right.
down like this other area, so that you
but
can
like
at
draw
least
the
get the
bandits
bandits away
away.
from there. But what actually happens is you sort of draw like Union soldiers or whatever towards your train because you've not done the
Because
thing
you didn't like use the right code or something to send the the telegraph.
I kind of like the idea that you arrive at one station and you can like choose to get off the train and get onto a stagecoach sort of thing, and you travel to the
Yeah,
next
well, that's
direction.
it. It doesn't have to just be trains, right? Like, it's sort of just how you get across this country. It could almost be like an Oregon Trail style thing in a way, where you've just got these decision points, like not in the exact same way of just like, blah, 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 but
You died of dysentery.
yeah,
Fuck.
but that you've got these decision points, and it's based on the whole map, and like what's going on anywhere at any time. And look, you might not know where the inspection points are, so you have to sort of be consulting your network of smugglers who send information around between, and it's not like you've all got fucking mobile phones, so if you want to get information out to someone, you have to like send a telegraph or something when you get to the next station, and is that going to be soon enough to? So you can't just change things immediately, right? There's certain lag time.
I kind of like the idea that you've even got like a kind of currency system as well. Sort of like to send a telegram, it's going to cost, say 30 cents.
Yeah.
I like the idea that it's in like, there's 30 cents to do this. And if you go to the saloon, it's like 15 cents for a beer. And it's just extremely cheap. But the only way that you can sort of, maybe if you start running out of money, then you've got to actually do some hold ups on a train yourself, sort of thing, or manage to steal from a lady's purse
or manage to
like a fist fight.
To sell some of this gold that you're smuggling.
Yep.
But that's not easy, and there's a lot of risk that comes with trying to sell like literal gold bars that are stamped with the bank's name or whatever that you stole it from. Yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff you could do with that.
You could really do this procedurally generated as well. So every single one is very different.
Yeah.
You sort of chuck a seed out there and make sure that, the train can reach from A to B and it's got X number of
stops.
Paths.
Yeah.
Paths and
no,
stops
you could do that really, really well. Exactly. You just like make up this fictional country, basically.
And the top-down view, I think, would really work well.
What this is almost similar to? It's a little bit of FTL in there. Not the ship management stuff, but just that procedural make your way from one place to the other. And I think you make it really difficult. Like, you have to really make the right decisions to finish, to be successful.
Oh, yeah.
It's got to be fun enough in the meantime that it's fun to attempt,
Yeah. What was that, heat signature. That's what I was also thinking.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
It's got that sort of,
So somewhat open world-ish.
Open world-ish. There seems to be things going on all the time. Like you could arrive in a town and there's like bank robbers that have just robbed a whole heap of stuff and robbed a bank and now are streaming out of town. You may turn up at this one place and there's like a duel going down because it's like high noon.
Yeah, for sure.
Really make this world seem lived in.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I like that.
I kind of, even though it's sort of not a profession I would like to partake with, but I like the idea that in each town there's sort of like the prostitutes in the town would actually know a lot of the information because they lay with a lot of the
they lay with a lot of men and folk.
Yes, but I like the idea that maybe they're a good network for the smugglers to actually use because they get information.
Yeah,
and they can find out information about Union soldiers and all that sort of stuff. So they're like a separate network that you can sort of utilize.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Yeah,
cool.
Now, could we do it in 3 days? No, 3 to 1 week.
Just some aspects of it.
Yeah, a couple.
Yeah. All right. 3 to 1 click.
Yep.
Accidental.
Tailspin.
Life is like a... Is that... No, that's DuckTales. What was the Tailspin theme song?
My mind did go there, but I don't know what the theme song is. I don't... God damn it, I've got it now. Here in Duckburg.
Duckburg.
You bastard. Are you looking up Tailspin now?
Yes. Spin. Oh, we are tailspin. Oh, and another tailspin. Okay. Sorry. That's going to sound really bad.
Yes, it kind of did.
Yeah.
Okay, so I like the idea that you're like either Launchpad McQuack or...
Also, we're literally going with tailspin. All right.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't remember tailspin almost at all.
I just remember Launchpad. Like, I've blown my Tailspin wad. All on that one name.
Wasn't there... I feel like there was a character named Wad. No. Wad blown stack.
Were Chip and Dale in that as well, or I don't know whether they were.
Don't know. I feel like this is not in our wheelhouse.
Okay, 3D click.
Supply.
Legume.
Okay.
And
and deception. So you're trying to... Are you making like fake peanuts and things? Like, what are you...
Well, I was thinking it's either, you're trying to sell...
It's nuts, right? Legumes
I was thinking like lentils and that sort of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
Oh, yeah, nuts. That's not nuts, is it?
No,
I was
it's
thinking peanuts.
beans and...
Yeah, beans and things. Okay. All right. No, peanuts are legumes.
Are they?
Yeah, I thought so.
Okay, so chickpeas, lentils.
Yeah, beans, lentils. Oh, yeah, peanuts. There you go. I did say peanuts on Wikipedia. I missed it, that's all. Okay. So what are we doing with them?
So I'm just wondering, is this with deception? Is it like maybe another almost smuggling sort of idea, or is it
maybe? But I think we should play as a squirrel.
Okay.
And you're trying to smuggle them in your cheeks.
God. And where's the deception that you got to get past all the other squirrels and
well,
say
and the
you didn't
humans
have any
and stuff.
nuts?
You just gotta. It's all about hiding and pretending that you didn't steal their nuts.
So probably squirrel's favourite part of the nut is actually the fact that, if they're non-salted and they've actually got like the case still on them.
Mm-hmm.
So is this like a squirrel at a zoo? You know how
like the
in
zoo
America,
peanuts?
they quite often have the zoo peanuts in the shell for the elephants to eat and shit. At least that's what
Yes, they do
American
eventually
TV have sort of told me.
shit them out, yes.
Yes. So I like the idea that you play a squirrel who's like sneaking round a zoo.
Yeah, well, I very much do like the idea of the movement mechanics of playing a squirrel.
Yeah.
I feel like that'd be fun. And yeah, picking up nuts and things and like storing them in your cheeks in your limited inventory space.
Yep.
And having them as some sort of resource. I guess what's the overall goal, though, is something we need to determine.
I think, as per Game of Thrones, winter is coming, and you
Okay,
and you've got sort of like a you got a family to feed, so you've got a quota that you got to sort of hit.
Okay, so it's sort of just a challenging sort of platforming / exploration game, and stealth game in certain ways.
Yeah, I kind of like the idea that there's like limited peanuts in this world.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
kind of, and if you have to sort of venture out of the nest and sort of go out, pick up as many peanuts as you can.
Yeah, well, you
before a
scavenge,
cleaner comes along and cleans it up. So it's like you've
right. So maybe each day, maybe that's even part of the strategy is you have to figure out like where the cleaner is, and if they've just been past there's not going to be many nuts there.
Yeah.
But as people walk around, like, they drop them. But yeah, you have to, like, avoid the other animals and stuff. But, you know, often there are, you know, particularly, obviously, the elephant enclosure has a ton of peanuts. But if you get too close, you'll scare the elephants and they'll try to stomp you.
Okay, so I like the idea that the actual countdown to when winter is you come out onto the branch of your tree and you look at the tree and you got all these leaves and they're starting to turn brown. So, and basically when all the leaves
the last
have dropped
one
off,
falls,
then it's basically winter.
That's it.
So you've got that permanent countdown that's sort of happening, and it's, you know, maybe all the other trees are sort of following in the same sort of thing, but this particular tree that you live in, which is right in the heart of the zoo.
Yeah.
Because what I like is that maybe you can do, I know that you haven't played Zelda Breath of the Wild, but basically part of it is, you know, what you can see you can go to. So from up there you can sort of get into like a visual mood in which you're sort of plotting out where you want to go.
Well, and I like the idea that maybe, you know, squirrels run pretty quick, but they're also pretty small. You can't get around the whole zoo in a single day. No. And if you're out at night, like, you fucking get killed by an owl, who is the Batman of owls. Call back. No, but,
God, I haven't thought about that one for a long time.
But yeah, like, so your challenge is, yeah, so, okay, I was starting to like this a bit more. I mean, it was all right before, and I came up with the squirrel thing, but yeah, so throughout the sort of course of the game, you're having to explore this zoo, and maybe you do some stuff where it's a bit of a metroidvania sort of thing where you have to change things about the zoo to be able to even get into certain places or get into certain enclosures or get across certain, you know, fences,
so I like the idea
bridges.
The perfect place to get to is literally the storeroom where all the peanuts and stuff
right.
But the storeroom's locked, and the cleaner has the key. So you've got to be able to like work out a way of basically stealing the key off of the cleaner. My mind is going to, for some reason, you have this puzzle in which, you know, you sort of have to organize for some food that this cleaner really, really likes, happens to be laying around, but it's like kind of off, so he ends up in the bathroom and you steal it from like his
pants around his
pants
ankles.
Around his ankles. I
was thinking maybe you have to like stuff marbles into your cheeks and like spit them out in front of him so he slips over. Well, because that could be an interesting thing actually, is that you can only carry like one largish, I mean not even large, but largish for a squirrel thing in your hands. Yep. And obviously that slows you down to a certain degree. Or, yeah, you can, like, get small things and shove them in your cheeks and let you carry more of them. But, yeah, you've obviously got a limited capacity and can only carry certain things. And, you know, so when you're trying to get this key, it's like one of those big old iron keys because it's such an old storeroom.
It's gotta be.
So you can't shove that in your cheeks. And it's really slow to carry around, so you can't just like go and steal it. Yeah, you have to be deceptive. You have to do something to somehow trick it or trick them, or maybe like you have to somehow get them to change the lock to a more modern lock, or something.
I kind of am picturing the peanuts feel very, again, 1930s to me. So I like the idea that it is literally an old, you know, the old style lock, because that is the current sort of day.
Yeah, maybe. I did like the idea of having to like gather bubble gum up around and put that in your cheeks. It's just like super gross, but then you have to you end up having to you go and shove that in this old lock. And then they have to like cut it off and put a new modern lock on there. And then when you steal the key, you can like put it in your cheeks and you have time to get away.
Oh, but now I'm thinking that you can pick up the bubble gum, then you can go over to the helium tank and sort of, you know, work out how to work it into your mouth. And then when you blow the bubble, it like has enough helium to sort of, make you a little bit lighter so you can sort of float across and get into a vent that maybe you couldn't get into before.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that works. Yeah, I think I actually prefer these as a modern zoo.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, because there's some interesting things you can mess with there. Yeah, I like that. I like the idea of being like a Metroidvania kind of platformer thing.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, and the fact that, it's so big, it's basically, because you're in the center of the zoo, you can sort of go out anywhere, but where you go to, it may not be the best place to.
Well, yeah, and it might not
find the peanuts on that night.
It might not be accessible yet, and you have to. Yeah, I mean, the time limit is a little bit punishing, but it is an interesting mechanic.
Yeah, but depending on how quick it goes, like.
Yeah, you just wouldn't want to explore the wrong place one day, find barely any peanuts. Basically explore the wrong places for the first week before you manage to realize, I have to find a way to, clear the people away from this bridge at a certain time or whatever so I can get across. I don't know.
Okay. Where I'm going now is, do we take this to the next extreme that it is actually 3 days before winter?
Okay.
As pictured by the fact that there's 3 leaves left on the tree.
All right.
And Dead Rising
Okay.
Basically, if you remember Dead Rising, one of the cool mechanics was at any time, you started getting your XP up and all this sort of stuff, and you could unlock new skills and that sort of stuff. Anytime you could basically go, okay, now I want to restart. You restart,
but you keep the skills.
But you keep your experience and your current level.
Yeah.
I like the fact that there's certain things that are going to happen at certain times.
Okay.
And you can basically, okay, I can go out and I can get 15 peanuts over here because the cleaner is going to be over here cleaning up, the elephant dung. So you get over there, you do that, and then you can have little boss areas in which you're not actually fighting anything, but you're basically trying to get the peanuts.
Get a supply of peanuts, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. I kind of like that Dead Rising style thing. And then instead of having to have a particular item, perhaps, or maybe it is still a particular item that you need to get through places, but you can obviously, exactly where to get it and when. So you're not going to mess around as much. And you can get over to, the reptile house.
Yeah.
On it, that's going to open up on a certain day, and you're not going to mess around trying to get there once you've gone through it a couple of times.
I mean, I really did quite like that idea in the in Dead Rising, that there were certain things that you could not do unless you had a perfect run.
Oh yeah, no, that's cool.
Well, I reckon we've got to stop this one now because we've got another podcast to record.
I think we had better stop it. Yeah.
Well, that was a really good one to end on.
Cool. Yeah, that was a neat idea. So yeah, thanks for listening to Bitstorm this week. You can, if you want to find us online, when I find my notes, we are on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, BitstormCast on all of those. We have a Facebook group, facebook.com/groups/Bitstorm for discussion and things. We are on Podchaser at podchaser.com/Bitstorm.
We're on iTunes at itunes.com/whatever the fuck. Just open it up in iTunes. And search for Bitstorm. You'll find us.
Or just go to Podchaser, click on the
just
iTunes.
Go to Podchaser.
Yeah. If you really wanted to go to iTunes, there's a link to it. But
if you've got a Mac and if you're already in iTunes, just search for us.
Yeah.
But if you are there, please rate and review us. Please. We've got a website, bitstormcast.com. I'd like to thank our friends at the AGPN, the Australasian Gaming Podcast Network. A lot of them are coming back off their Christmas holidays. We steamed through, but everyone else sort of took a break. So I'm glad to see a few of those podcasts come back up in my feed. And also, we'd like to thank Krudas for the song Mount Defiance off of the album Campaign of Failure.
Yes. So, thank you again for joining us this week. I'm Ben Slinger.
I'm Trevor Scott.
And I'm Ben Slinger.